She hoped she hadn't sounded as miserable as she felt. It had been impossible not to notice the hilarity that her lovely doll had been met with. People had pointed it out to each other and burst out laughing. She had expected when the raffle took place for not a single person to choose it, for it to be left there ugly and unwanted. It had been a big relief when the vicar had been the first raffle winner and had picked Lena's doll. He had actually given it a hug and kissed it, and everyone had cheered. Once home, Lena made tea and wondered what she would do with herself tonight. She hadn't expected to be home so early. With Sheila and Brenda still in Melling, there was no one else that Lena could call on. The furniture in the flat felt strangely oppressive, as if it was about to fall down on top of her. She supposed the only thing to do was to go to the pictures. Although she loved the pictures, it seemed a bit pathetic to go so often on her own. In Birmingham, she'd had a friend, Enid, to go with. Enid's husband was in the army. She went into the kitchen where she washed her face, combed her hair, and looked at her reflection in the mirror on the windowsill. How nice it would be to be pretty or really talented like Brenda Mahon with her dressmaking. She had grown up used to being plain and not particularly clever at anything, though she was quite a fast typist and good at shorthand. As she continued to stare in the mirror, becoming more and more miserable, she was relieved to hear a knock on the door. At least it was someone to talk to, even if for only a few minutes. George Ransom was outside. He removed his hat when she opened the door. "I wondered if you were going to the Palace tonight," he said with a smile. The Palace was the picture house in Marsh Lane, only a short walk away. "Well, I was thinking about it," Lena conceded. "It's that picture about American politics. It's had wonderful reviews." "I know. Mr. Smith goes to Washington with James Stewart. I saw it in the Echo last night." She'd also read an article about it in the News of the World. "Jean Arthur's in it, too." He rubbed his hands together with enthusiasm. "She's my favourite actress. Claudette Colbert is a close second." "I like them too, and James Stewart." He shuffled his feet. "I just wondered," he said casually, "if it would be a good idea if we went to see it together. We've noticed each other coming out and walking home a few times now, and it seems silly, like us living in the same street and going to the Picks on our own. What harm would it be us doing it together?" "I'm married," Lena said simply. "Yes, but we'd only be going to the Picks. There'd be no funny business." "I should hope not." "We'd be going as friends," he said cheerily. "Good friends." Lena chewed her lip. "I'd have to pay for myself," she said eventually. "That's no problem, Mrs. Newton." "And you must always call me Mrs. Newton, not Lena." "That's all right by me, and I will always be Mr. Ransom to you." "Absolutely," Lena nodded fiercely. "If you'd like to wait outside a minute, I'll just go and get my things together." "I won't move from the spot, Mrs. Newton." Lena went upstairs to fetch her best coat. She'd asked Brenda about George Ransom after the first time he'd spoken to her on the way home from the pictures. He was a bachelor, Brenda had explained. She supposed he was about 50. "Before the war, every Saturday night without fail, he'd have these dead rowdy parties lasting all night long. Christ knows what went on in there, but the noise had to be heard to be believed." Lena felt herself flush. "Oh, my goodness." "When the war started, he was too old to be called up, but he was sent to work for the censorship department in Aintree, not far from here. He takes it very seriously," she said gravely, "and the parties stopped. He became an air raid warden too. It was George who found Francis Costello and little Tony when the house they were in was hit by a bomb. Both of them were killed, poor sods. Poor Eileen, she was devastated, and George has never been the same since." Brenda had folded her arms, crossed her legs, and said thoughtfully, "Me, I lost interest in men when Xavier went and married another woman down in London. Became a bigamist, would you believe? But if I should ever get interested in men again, I wouldn't mind having a go at George Ransom. His moustache makes him look a bit like Clark Gable, only thinner. If he asked me out, I'd go like a shot." Mr. Smith Goes to Washington was really inspiring. After it was over...